Yes, I'm teasing Clyde because we were not supposed to cast today, but then he talked to Kerwin, and this is all Kerwin's fault. Kerwin.
He convinced me. Yo, I'm not disappointed. Like I'm excited to see Mixu do well.
Like, I'm not saying the games are bad; they are great. But like, you know, we do have a lot of streams this week, and we are loaded into another game. This thousand what? This time on 2000 atmospheres LE. We have the yellow Protoss player representing Alpha X. It is Exostriker.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of 2000 Atmospheres LE, we have the Finnish Zerg player himself representing Gova Esports. It is Mixu. The madman just 2-0 baby Marine. Damn.
Yeah. What is Raynor gonna do about it, huh?
I mean, to be fair, I feel like Baby Marine should have some of the best TvZ practice out there. You know, like
exactly.
I like Raynor. What are you doing right now, buddy? All right, should you not be practicing and helping your little brother out?
I mean, to be fair, like we've heard Raynor's opinion on Baby Marine, and I don't think he thinks he's a great player. So like,
I don't know if Raynor is the most supportive brother.
I feel like he is, but like, you know, off camera, or like on camera, he's just teasing him a lot.
Yeah,
but,
maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've heard a lot of stories about Raynor, you know. pulling a little bit of a chaos fade is what I should say.
let me just say that, like, in on streams, like, people have asked him to coach Baby Marine, and he was like, yeah, nah.
shaking my head. Oh god, they could be like the next Vortex and Lucifron, you know, like the next two like brothers at the top of the region. Shaking my head.
No. You know what they should be? There should be Seral and what was his name? Protoser? What's his name?
Who?
The brother of Seral. What was his
name? Seral has a brother?
What?
What? I didn't even know, I'll be honest.
You didn't know?
Does he have a biological brother?
Yes, an older brother, and his brother was like higher in the rank before him.
Yeah. I thought you were talking about like a younger brother. Like I thought you were talking about a pro player
older brother.
that was active.
No.
Okay.
I mean, Lucifron and Vortex aren't exactly active.
Oh, not anymore. No, yeah, not anymore. But back in the day.
That's what I mean. Yeah, so I was also talking about back in the day.
Well, Sarah's brother wasn't a pro player.
He was good.
the cope is real. Alright, well, here we go. We're getting into game number 1. So far, a bit of a Stargate opener here from Exostriker. It makes sense. 2K Atmospheres is one of those maps that kind of leans towards a longer game, can lead towards a longer macro game, and yeah, we'll see what the plan is here. Oh my god, he commits to Shade.
Yeah, 2 adepts are getting in. They are starting to get drones down. The Queen is trying to defend, but 4 drones in total fall.
Yeah, not a bad trade here from Exostriker. Again, adepts do fall off as the game goes on. So to get, oh my god, to get 4 drones and to snipe an Overlord here with his Stalker, like, so far a great start for Exostriker.
Yeah, and this is just the beginning, as the first of the 2 oracles is already going across the map.
Oh no, the Queens are out of position as well. The Oracle will get a couple of drone kills. The Spore is just not ready. As 2 drones do end up getting picked off, and the Oracle manages to escape with his life.
Yeah, very dynamic start for Exostriker, already getting some damage on Mixu.
Yeah, exactly. We have a second Oracle coming out as well. This second Oracle is going to be chilling here at the 3rd base to make sure Lings will not deny the Nexus as it's being built. We're going to have plenty of DPS here with the Adept as well, so Exostriker just securing his 3rd base.
Yes, indeed. And he will move on from these oracles as he is going into a Twilight Council next.
Yeah, exactly. Didn't go into that famed triple Oracle opener. Just 2 for the time being, and going and switching straight into that ground toss. Forge on the way, Twilight Council. I imagine this is going to be for +1 and Blink Stalkers. But we'll see if he ends up going for maybe a more charged Archon based composition. I doubt it, as we see a Robo on the way.
Right. One day someone is gonna go for Mass Oracle. It's gonna happen.
You're gonna have to wait for the Taiwan Hong Kong close qualifier for that, okay? I believe in, but always.
Okay. I'll keep. I trust your word on that.
There you go. There you go. Oh god.
Yeah, there you go. Muppet is saying Sarah's brother is Protosser, also a Zerg player. So I
There you
remembered
go.
right.
There you go. Protosser. There you go. There you go. Thank you for the confirmation. Thank you. Oh god. And yeah, we'll see how this goes. This time the Oracles weren't able to deal too much damage. They tried to get into the main base, but Mixu was able to fend them off for the time being. And this is, again, getting a little bit scary because the sentry count is getting higher. Eventually, we will have a very strong timing with Blink and +1. And these Protoss players going for these ground toss pushes, like, they're pretty scary.
Yes, indeed. As you said, there are quite a few oracles building sentries building up. As these oracles are once again in the base, and there are 2 of them now.
Yeah, exactly. As the Oracles barely managed to escape. Got another 2 drones. Were able to get a decent scout of confirming that indeed there was a Roach Warren and +1 on the way. Is this a little bit greedy to go for an infestation pit? I mean, Mixu is trying to sneak it out, but a hive and any kind of infestation pit tech isn't going to be ready for this first push.
But by the way, I'm not sure if this is Oracle's fault, but Mixu now has 2 drones on gas instead of 3 in the natural.
Oh, yeah, a little bit of a slip up there. We'll see if it's going to be impactful. As Exostriker, he is pushing deep onto creep. He wants to keep on going. He has a lot of sentries. Will back off for the time being. Oh, and he's going to give Mixu a lot of time to build a wave of roaches and even cancels his own spine crawler.
Yeah, decides he doesn't need it after all, as the attack from Exostriker moves back. And it looks like it's time for Mixu's move now.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I'm a little bit perplexed. I wonder what Exostriker saw that made him turn around, because I'll be honest, Mixu did not appear ready. There's a reason why he had a spine on the way. Like, his Ravagers were just being morphed in the main base. He didn't have a lot of roaches either. I feel like there was a lot of potential with that push. But yeah, for some reason Exostriker backed off.
So Exostriker is going for a Colossus?
Yeah, he is going for a Colossus.
Sure. Yeah, versus roaches? I don't know.
I mean, Colossus are great against Ling Bane Roach Ravager, if that's what we're getting. For the time being, Mixu doesn't really have that on the way. He doesn't even have a Baneling nest, I don't think. Looks like the infestation pit is being scouted, and it is on the way.
Yeah, the Baneling nest is on the way. Spire is on the way as well. And these oracles just fly in. The roaches can't do anything against them.
Yeah, they can't really do too much at all, as we just see a massive transfer of drones here towards the 4th base to finally get it saturated. Yeah, I'm really curious to see what Mixu decides to go for. Obviously, he can go into mutas if he wants to. I don't think that's necessarily the best option right now. Going into like just Roach Ravager, like Ling Bane Viper would be pretty amazing. But yeah, we'll see what he has in store for us.
Indeed we will. As Exostriker is making more Colossus, but also switching into Disruptors now, which I think will do better against this mostly Roach army.
Yeah.
And they may meet right now.
I think we both agree that going into Disruptor, like prioritizing Disruptors first, probably would have been a better choice here for Exostriker. It means that this first attack is only going to have Colossus, which again is questionable. At least he's going to hit before Vipers come out, so the Colossus are going to have free reign on this army.
Yeah, indeed. And the Thermal Lance is about to finish, so the Colossus will be slightly more effective in this engagement, while the Zealots are taking down the space.
Yeah, a couple of Lings were in the middle of going for a run by, so they're forced to turn around. At the same time, in comes the main army of Exostriker, and I don't think Mixu is necessarily ready for this. He has to give up the base. He cannot hold on.
He gives up on the base, he moves away. He was also a bit distracted by that Zealot run by, as the War Prism is falling down.
War Prism barely manages to survive. And I don't know about this. Mixu, he's got a Greater Spire on the way. He's trying to go straight into Corruptors right now. We'll see if he can survive long enough to actually make that happen.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm not sure if Exostriker is gonna give him enough time, as he's already in his base. He destroyed that third, and he keeps going.
Oh god, yeah, the first two Novas do go off. There is a third Nova behind this in the chamber, so again, it's still not the easiest to try and push into. Oh, we have a blink forward! The first Viper goes down!
Yeah, the Viper gets sniped. The Colossus does get pulled, but there are still disruptors in this army, so the Colossus are not as crucial.
Exactly, at the same time, another Zealot round by this fourth base is not going to get up and running. Mixu, he just can't expand, he cannot get another hatchery up, and Exostriker, he's even just rallying his own disruptors across the map.
Yeah, just getting some really good shots on Mixu's army now, and this force just looks a bit too strong for the Zerg.
Yeah, exactly. It's okay, the Greater Spire is going to finish. Oh my god, meanwhile, a couple of really good Baneling connections there. The disruptors actually get reset, so great fight here for Mixu, and at the same time he holds on to his fourth base, so he's surviving, he's fighting back.
I just realized how forward that Greater Spire is.
Yeah, I'm really worried about it. Oh god, not like this. We have another Zealot round by here at the fourth base. Looks like Mixu will be able to clean it up, but at the same time, Exostriker heads towards the third, and Mixu just does not have enough to defend both.
He's sniping the disruptors really nicely, denying all the Novas on his army.
Sorry, exactly. Very decisive moves there. Meanwhile, we have a Yoink on the final Colossus. It will get picked off, but there's just so many Stalkers. Who needs splash damage? Well, I mean, he's got another Disruptor anyway. And Exostriker is looking to try and force his way through. Unfortunately, he lost his Warp Prism. He cannot reinforce this army too effectively. He has to warp in back at home. So because of that, Mixu is surviving. He's able to defend this off for now.
Yeah, it looks like he will actually push away this Protoss army. There are more reinforcements, so it may be only temporary, but at least he's not dead.
Yeah, again, like the lack of War Prism is saving Mixu right now. Oh god. But now that we have another wave, there may just be too much pressure being applied here. Like, Mixu just cannot get his economy up and running. He cannot find the room to drone up. He just made 7 drones. Now is not the time to drone, puppy.
Really unfortunate, as his army looks really small compared to the Protoss, and once again the yellow Protoss is at the base of Mixu. Once again, Mixu is really good at sniping these disruptors, so like barely any Novas connect with his army.
Yeah, very nice moves here. But again, the Mass Stalker is insane. We have more Colossus coming in. We have a bit of an interception here. One Colossus will get picked up as it does try to meet up with the rest of the army. Maybe the other as well. Ooh.
Just barely dodges, but there's just so many Stalkers on the ground.
The Greater Spire! And now that kind of Exostriker has asserted himself between the bases, it's just too much. GG gets called. Exostriker takes game number 1.
Yeah, GG. Really well played there. I mean, the Colossus was still questionable in my opinion, but I mean, it did work out in the end.
Yeah. I think probably the biggest thing that was keeping Mixu in this and that was hurting Exostriker was that he never remade the War Prism either after he lost it.
Yeah.
Because of that, his push in general just wasn't as strong as it could have been. Maybe being a little bit too ambitious, trying to sneak it and snake it around in between all the bases. But other than that, very well done.
Yeah, very nicely done. Let's see how game 2 will go.
Yeah, and I do feel like Mixu, he was just, again, thinking a little bit too far ahead, you know? He teched very quickly into a Greater Spire when he just didn't really have the room to do so. All those resources could have been invested in, you know, more of a ground army, a more secure foundation first, instead of just skipping a bunch of tech and going straight into Hive and going straight into that Spire. Yeah, with that, we are now going into game 2. Wait, Kuro, are you still with me? Are you with me?
I am, look. I went to bed at 4 a.m., okay? My brain is not entirely there.
Ah.
But we are here. And by here, I mean the map that is called Curious Minds Elite. As we are looking at the base of the yellow Protoss player, representing Alpha X, it is Exostriker.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Curious Minds LE, we have the Finnish Zerg player himself representing Kova Esports. It is Mixu. Oh.
What is it with these EU players? There's no proxies, no rushes, no weird builds. We had a ghost rush today. That's about it.
We did have a ghost rush, you know. be happy with that, Krupp. But yeah, it is one of those things where I feel like a lot of European players have like or at least the European scene has a little bit of a reputation for being very standard. And when it comes to like unorthodox play, it just comes down to an individual level. Like there are some very stylistic players.
Yeah, like you will have like specific players that are like known for some really crazy stuff, but like the general most of the European players seems to be more focused on like very solid macro games.
Yeah, there's nothing necessarily wrong with that. You know, it is just nice to spice up a series sometimes, and I expect to see something a little bit different from Exostriker. Maybe, because...
Look, I'm just used to the sea region, okay? I'm spoiled.
Fair enough, fair enough. There's none quite... there's no one quite like Miyamika outside of just Miyamika, you know?
I mean, there's Papa Panda.
Sure. You're not wrong, you're not wrong. But yeah, I expect something a little bit different from Exostriker just because in general this map it can be really difficult to expand and hold on to bases as a Protoss player and even a Terran player as well. This map doesn't really have the best reputation because of that. Queen walking is no longer a thing, so you don't necessarily have to worry about that anymore, but again, like strong like Roach Ravager timings are still quite deadly.
Yeah, as once again we see a Stargate from Exostriker, so I assume he will go for something similar with the Oracles, as his adepts are already on the other side of the map.
Yeah, first adept is already here at the third base, second adept is on the way. We saw how much damage these adepts dealt in the early game in game 1. We'll see if they can do the same in game 2.
Yeah, they're getting ready to get right into the natural. The queen is there to stop them, but they will shade right through.
Yeah, shades don't give a damn about your queens. They're looking to get into the natural base. He does commit the shade, immediately sniping one of those drones, but only one.
I feel like maybe it would be better if he shaded into the main rather than natural, because there were 2 queens at the natural.
Yeah, true. There was no creep connecting the bases either. He made a choice and he decided to go for the natural base instead. As Mixu does get a little bit supply blocked here, losing that Overlord. And yeah, Exostriker, just like the previous game, he's playing the same way. Going for the Oracle, going for a second Oracle behind this.
7 Oracles, come on. You can do it. Come to the dark side.
Kuro, please. Stop trying to tempt them. God damn it.
Look, it's gonna work eventually.
They want to play
I'm gonna be right.
They just want to play StarCraft.
Fine.
Oh god. Meanwhile, Exostriker is actually diverting a little bit. The second Oracle gets across the map, doesn't do too much damage, but we do have a third one behind this.
Yeah, and it's rallied to the other Oracle as well. So now we have one in the main that's annoying with the stasis.
No! Oh my god.
Actually, the stasis saved the Oracle.
The stasis trap barely saves the Oracle. It survives. Second Oracle is about to meet up. Third Oracle is on the way. Exostriker, usually when you do this, you have this third Oracle to protect your third base, but risking things a little bit, being more active on the map instead.
I mean, he almost lost that one, so I guess he's using these 2 to harass instead. And Mixu is going for basically the same thing he always does, taking up into roaches next.
Yeah, just a standard response to what he has been seeing. What I will say is that this game, he has lost less drones in the early game, so he is looking a little bit better than game number 1. So far, at least, so far. But I still do worry once Exostriker gets into the swing of things. Because once again, Blinken +1 is on the way.
Indeed. As the three archers actually joined forces. Just not the usual sight, I will say.
Yeah, it's terrifying when the 3 oracles unites, because with the power of 3 oracles, almost anything is possible. With them, you can take down stray queens if they're left alone. You can take down even building hatcheries like this 4th base. You have to be really careful. You gotta respect the oracles.
I mean, look, full energy oracle can take literally anything except a lair. And hive.
Oh boy, meanwhile, there we go. Immediately, they just take down one of these queens. There was not enough energy for a transfuse, and somehow, someway, once again, that low health oracle survives.
Yeah. Like, really close there. Like, once again, dropping all of the shields, but somehow, it's alive.
3 HP. SMH my hedge.
Living on the edge.
Living on the edge. At least Mixu does establish his 4th base, or it's able to continue. It is there. It is alive. But Exostriker is working towards that big push once again. War Prism is on the way. Immortal, I think, is stuck on the wrong side of the wall. But the War Prism will save it.
Yeah. No, you can go.
Okay,
You can go.
Just had to suck it in.
Yeah.
Does get out on the other side. Meanwhile, Mixu once again does go for the infestation pit, so he's going for a very fast hive. But again, I imagine this is going to Vipers once again, which do play a pretty important role here. Does he have enough of a ground army to stop this though? Because Mixu, I don't think, really sees this coming. He does have roaches on the way though. He needs them desperately.
Yeah, the roaches are on the way. The Bane Ignis is about to finish. But the army of Protoss is already at the 3rd base.
Yeah, I think the 3rd base may just have to be forfeit. Biles, did not connect with the army. He's buying a little bit of time here. But there's a lot of force field energy. A lot of force field energy.
Now the force field energy, a lot of the Guardian shields as well. Ooh, really nice force fields there on the Zerg army.
Yeah, exactly. Does shave off a lot of those lings. Meanwhile, Mixu refuses to pull away from this mining base. He wants to get as many minerals as possible before the base goes down.
Yeah. Biles actually land in the middle of the army, but the sentries are still standing strong, and I'm not sure if Mixu can overpower this.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. A lot of the Stalkers are going down, but we have a reinforcing wave of Stalkers behind us. We have a Blink on forward on top of these Ravagers. Mixu is trying desperately to hold on. Can he do it? It looks like he cannot.
Yeah. That's a very strong push from Exostriker. Definitely the reinforcements help there, and he does take that 3rd base of Mixu.
Yeah, if he had somehow been able to maybe get some Biles off on this War Prism, I think he would have been able to hold on. Like, it was a pretty clutch, pretty close defense. At least Mixu was able to keep a lot of his workers alive, and he's trying to dive on top of this army.
Yeah, his Guardian Shield will definitely help. And he actually Exostriker just blinks forward.
Oh god, he just wants to end it, mate. A couple of Biles will take out this War Prism, so finally the War Prism goes down. Finally, no more reinforcements, and with the Lings, it looks like Mixu does defend. He will force this back.
Even the Oracle gets sniped by the bars.
And Mixu is in a pretty good position right now, because look at his drone count. He lost 4 drones in that attack. Only 4.
Yeah, he moved away most of them. Once again, like the fact that he always has a base prepared for his drones is very useful for him.
Yeah, and you know what? This madman got a hive. He was able to defend while being greedy, while taking up adrenal glands is on the way. We should be seeing some Vipers on the way shortly as well. Like, Mixu, he's looking pretty good. Other than the fact that he's on 3 bases. Like, if he's able to get at least one of these hatcheries up and running, like, he's gonna be looking amazing.
Yeah. Well, as we said before, like, Mixu is really good at snowballing once he gets his bases going, so if Exostriker gives him enough time right now, he may just do it.
Up!
That was a close cancel.
That was a pretty close cancel. Very impressive. I was like, are the Lings really going to be able to pull this off? Like, there was so much HP on this Nexus. They can with Adrenal. Like, Adrenal finishing was pretty crucial to that run, but I saw a great pick off there by Mixu, keeping Exostriker on 3 bases. And again, that defense at the 4th was very close, but now that he's done that, he's gotten away with so much.
But I am worried. Mixu is getting a Spire.
I think I can say it's safe to take a Spire right now. It is a little bit greedy, you could argue, especially because he doesn't have Vipers, he doesn't have energy, you know, he's just got a handful of units to defend right now. But I think he can get away with it. He's even got Infestors, my god.
Yeah. And this Protoss army is actually walking on the creep, so Mixu knows exactly where they are.
The Lings, they try to find a way in, but they do not. The wall was indeed a wall, and the longer this goes on, the better it is going to be here for Mixu. Exostriker is trying to get the space up and running. It looks like the Nexus will finish up, but Mixu, he's on his way to try and take it down.
Oh, there's so many Banelings in the back, and they roll right into his army. Some of them are taken by the Disruptor, but not all of them.
Yeah, we had a pretty crucial fungal there on all of those Stalkers. The Disruptor goes down, and at the same time, so does the Nexus. Wait. Cracklings. They're cracked.
Really?
Oh my god, in the blink of an eye, they didn't just take down the Nexus, they took down 13 probes as well.
Yeah, the things are being cleaned up, but they already did all the damage, and while Exostriker is busy here, Mixu has the time to attack the 3rd.
Yeah, not just the 3rd base, he depowers one of the Robos. Both Robos are here, and they're about to be taken down. No more Disruptors in production. There's only one. That's all Exostriker has to work with.
And like that, GG's called.
GG! Mixu, he barely holds on to his 4th, or he actually didn't hold on to his 4th base, but he's able to defend the initial wave. He got away with the Fast Hive, he got away with the Adrenal, didn't go all the way to Greater Spire this time, you know, he learned from the first game, and with that momentum, he runs away with it.
Yeah, very nicely done for Mixu. I was really worried for him for a moment after Exostriker's attack, but in the end, it turned out fine.
Yeah, it was just a very calm and methodical approach to that attack as well. Like, I mentioned it during the cast, but I still want to emphasize, it's crazy to see that, like, he was facing an army, it was here in his face, and he refused to pull the boys. Like the drones, they were just chilling there, just mining for as long as possible, getting the most out of that 4th base. The very last moment did he transfer away. And it's like little things like this that, like, just get you more and more ahead, and they allow you to get away with all this greed.
Currently 1-1 score. There you go. Because I saw Steadfast joining for a bit. Well, I guess he left. I guess he went for another series.
Yeah. I think he saw, like, how many people were already here.
Yeah.
So decided to opt out instead. Fast. As we are getting ready for game number 3, and we are looking...
And I'm being told my jokes are bad.
We're getting ready, and we're gonna find out who is gonna take a lead in this series. I know what you're talking about.
You're no longer allowed to groan at my jokes.
I don't know what you're talking about, man. What are you talking about?
It's just awful. You need to find light on the list. There are so many players. But we have found each other, as we are now on Hardwire Elite. Once again, looking at the yellow Protoss player representing Alpha X. It is Exostriker.
And spawning in the top right hand corner of Hardwire LE, we have the Finnish Zerg player himself representing Gova Esports. It is Mixu. Oh my god, the rumors.
Oh,
Oh
the
my god!
Roombas.
He's killing everything.
Oh no, poor Roombas.
Ah,
They're just trying to keep your base clean.
they're just well. That's the thing, though. They're gonna clear the creep, right?
I mean, they would.
So it makes sense. Makes sense for a Zerg player to clear up all those Roombas. Feels bad, man.
I
It feels
guess.
bad. It's a kid.
Yeah, they're just keeping your base clean.
They're just doing their job.
Yeah, they're just doing their job, and everybody hates them for some reason.
SMH.
I have no idea why. Definitely not because we've seen them block buildings.
It's fine. I mean, as a Zerg player, what buildings are they really gonna block? You know?
Yeah, nothing really.
God.
It would have to be like something very specific.
Yeah. As we are getting into this game, and I mean, now my eyes are on Exostriker because he essentially executed the same build 2 games in a row. Game 1, he caught Mixu off guard. I think maybe Mixu was being a little bit overconfident and he was punished for it. Game 2, Mixu was much more prepared. He was still being greedy, don't get me wrong. Like,
Oh yeah.
that's why the defense was as close as it was, because he was cutting corners. But again, it didn't work. We're not going to do the same thing 3 games in a row, right? Like, I feel like Exostriker needs to bring something else to the table.
I mean, there is a Stargate on the way. So far it looks pretty much the same as previously. I mean, yeah, we're gonna find out. But yeah, something that I learned from today's series is that Mixu is the kind of player who'll make drones in your face as you're attacking him.
Yeah.
He's not afraid.
Yeah, as a Zerg player, I am in awe because I am always afraid. I'm always afraid. That's why I'm horrible at making drones. And Mixu, like, it's going to take like an army in his base for him not to make drones. Like, it's crazy.
I mean, there was an army in his base and he was still getting drones. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's crazy, mate. It's crazy. Meanwhile, the first adept does get into the main base. We'll get 2 drone kills, but only 2 as the queen pops out, and they will be able to deal with the first adept. Second adept trying to find a way in, but again, I feel like the time for the adepts has come and gone. Maybe he can get one more. No, he doesn't commit. Nope.
Yeah, this time the adepts didn't quite synchronize to go together into the bases. So only 2 workers went down in the end, but the oracles are next in the line.
Yeah, first Oracle zooming out across the map. If you remember, I think last game 2 drones were killed and we had a stasis on the queen, and that was kind of it. There was 1 queen kill after that as well, I guess. But again, there wasn't too much damage dealt from those oracles, so we'll see if they can have a little bit better success. So far, no, as Mixu is well ready, he's well prepared, and he forces the first oracle back.
And from what we can see, I think this will be more of the same of what we saw in the previous games. Once again, we get the Forge going up, we have the Twilight Council and Robo, and yeah, I think we have once again the same kind of matchup.
Yeah, it's a solid style, so I don't blame him. Like, this is really popular in the meta right now, going for these kind of like Soul Train-esque pushes. Very popular, so I don't blame Exostriker. The problem is that it is a little bit predictable at this point in the series, doing it 3 games in a row. Yeah, I feel like this shouldn't work against Mixu, but we'll see.
Yes, these 2 oracles are trying to get some damage. They do
Oh.
snipe 2 drones, but there are so many queens here.
Yeah, the queens are able to push them all the way back into that dead space, into the corner. Bearing in mind that this time he did only go for 2, didn't go for a 3rd oracle, which I like. He's preserving some gas. He's not wasting it on the oracles. He's spending it on faster tech instead.
Yeah, another 2 drones fall down, and the oracles will escape.
Yeah. Not bad. Again, a much more conservative approach here from Exostriker, but still able to deal some damage, still able to hinder the economy a little bit of Mixu before things start to pop off. Of course, our immortals are on the way. Sentries are slowly gathering that energy. And just like previously, I imagine Mixu is himself getting ready to absorb this attack.
Yeah, I think so. He's getting his roaches ready. His upgrades are going slowly going down. The Bane weakness is already put down as well. So yeah, he's just getting ready. And I assume once again he's just gonna hold in his base and just slowly try to macro up.
Yeah, yeah. At a certain point, he's going to finish droning, and I'm just shocked to see that he's already essentially at 80 drones. So he
I mean, why
really,
is it shocking?
yeah, he really hammered down that D key for those drones. And something that's interesting is that instead of morphing in a wave of stalkers, Exostriker goes for a fourth nexus instead. So he's approaching this in a much more macro-oriented sense. He's already taking up as well robotics ban on the way for disruptors. So that means that this push is going to be that much weaker. That means Mixu, the chances of him getting away with all this droning is higher.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, might as well take that 4 base, considering that Mixu once again is not really a harassing player. He's more of just solid macro, and we're gonna meet eventually.
Yeah, and I don't know if I like this because Exostriker backs off. He runs away from this fight, and that means that Mixu has gotten away with all this greed. Now Infestation Pit's on the way, soon to be Hive. We're gonna see some more bases. We have 83 drones, like we're done droning. Mixu is, I'm sure, feeling really comfortable right now.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I think this is about the time that he's gonna start being aggressive. We see only units on that production tab. The Baning speed is about to finish, the Overlord speed is about to finish, the melee upgrade is currently underway, and I think soon he will attack as Exostriker.
Yeah, I mean, he can clear up some supply, I'm sure, once he maxes out, but here we go, Hive's about to finish up as well. Like, he has all the tech possible. The only thing he's missing is, yeah, there we go, a 5th base, which is on the way. He could even double expand right now if he wanted to.
More bases.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing stopping him right now. Like, Exostriker's chilling at home.
Yeah, indeed. He's trying to wall in that 4th base, but Mixu is actually getting ready at the position of the 3rd. Oh, nice. Contamination.
Yeah, we don't see this too often, but a solid contamination. Denying +2. Meanwhile, we have a little bit of a Ling run by, confirming the army, confirming the disruptors as well as the Colossus. And I feel like this should kind of, this should telegraph to Mixu. This should kind of cue him in that I feel like Vipers are the name of the game right now to really shut this down. And hopefully not Mutus. Here we go, Exostriker, he's pushing out into creep. At the same time, Mixu is getting ready for a massive Bane run by. The Banelings are going to be rolling on in. SimCity is looking pretty good here, but it's still not going to stop the Banelings, and we have no reaction with the probes! Ah!
Yeah, but that said, all of the Banelings were actually wasted on the buildings. Now, the Lings will finish the job, so it's not all lost, but it could definitely go worse. Meanwhile, this Warp is just gonna die.
The War Prism is going to go down. We don't have a big engagement with the main armies. Mixu focusing a lot more on the harassment. 18 probes go down. And now, with the death of the War Prism, Mixu can focus on the main army. Oh! Oh god!
My god, that was such a good connection with that Nova.
Oh.
I think this was the first great Nova that we've seen today, because so far Mixu has been on point of sniping disruptors and dodging the Novas, but not this time.
Not this time. He's going to try and go for a full surround. The second Nova only gets a single Ravager. Reinforcing the disruptor is going to get caught out, and the Bailey's finding their connections.
Yeah, they're running straight into all of these stalkers. The disruptor is down, the Colossus is down, the Immortal goes down, and now it's just the Stalker army versus all of the Zerg.
Yeah, exclamation mark full nada these Stalkers, because they blinked back and they exposed all of the high-tech units. Because of that, that was the death of all those Robo units, the Disruptors, the Colossus, the Immortals. We do have a little bit of harassment, we do have a little bit of a run by, and it looks like Exostriker does take out 2 hatcheries here, the 2 5th bases, but at the cost of his high-tech units, I don't think it was worth it. Oh god! And now, what does he really have left? The other thing I wanted to say is, I guess now we don't need Vipers anymore. The goal of these Vipers are to get yoinks off on those units, and there are only Stalkers remaining. Okay, we have a couple more Disruptors on the way, so now they have some purpose now, I guess. But oh god, Mixu again with such a great lead. Boys, we have a couple of Novas going off here. Again, at least zoning out the army, buying a little bit of time for Exostriker. But as he buys time, so does Mixu. Now the Vipers are almost topped up on their energy. They're looking for those abducts. God, Kuro, are you with me? Is she dead?
I am with you, but I tell you later.
As we have a couple of yoinks, every single Disruptor goes down.
Yeah, they do. And this now once again it's just Stalkers. Now the Colossus do join the fight, but oh Colossus, where are you going?
Calm down, puppy, calm down. Again, the only thing that Exostriker was able to accomplish here was to take out these fringe bases, but now they're getting up and running. We have spines being thrown down as well. We have a little bit of a Zealot runway. Oh my god, the infestors!
I like that the Zealots just went around the infestors, like didn't even touch them.
Yeah, honestly.
But they do fall down eventually.
Yeah, the Zealot timing was amazing. Oh my god, we have a snipe on both Vipers!
Ooh, that's very nice for Exostriker. Now this Zerg army doesn't look quite as scary, but it's rolling in regardless.
Oh my god, another beautiful Nova. Second one goes off as well. We're running out of Zerg units here, but it is barely enough to force Exostriker back. And, 17 drones. My god, the Zealots, more than paying for themselves.
Yeah, the Zealots are really being very useful there. And another base force of Mixu. Exostriker is just keeps going.
Yeah. This army is still pretty terrifying. Exostriker, he's actually evening things up quite a bit here with all that economic damage, with sniping the Vipers. Mixu's army is suddenly a lot less sophisticated. It's just Lingbane Roach Ravager. Is it going to be enough?
Oh, the Zerg army is collapsing on the Protoss, dodging the Novas, and I mean this is still a big Protoss army. The Stalkers just blink in, and I think Exostriker is maybe in this.
Once again with the blink, he just exposed his Colossus. They go down. Another great dodge there on the Novas, and again, Exostriker didn't trade the worst, but he lost far too much.
Yeah, indeed. It's just that like every time he blinks aggressively like that, or defensively even, like he loses a lot of those robo units, and those take a long time to replace.
Yeah, they really do. It's just they're not the easiest units to replace. Meanwhile, finally, Exostriker backs off, and Mixu has a little bit of time to breathe here. Goes for a little bit of a run by. He will be able to take down this pylon. Looking to be as annoying as possible. And now it's his turn. Yeah, it's his turn to push out.
It is. I mean, the Protoss is ready, so like this small attack is not gonna do much, but hey, there are Broodlords on the way.
There are Broodlords on the way. Greater Spire is done. All that tech is finally paying off. You thought he was maybe tunnel visioning a little bit too much? Nah, mate. Mixu, he was always thinking ahead, as he always is. Again, his economy isn't as strong as it once was, and you could argue, especially because of the lack of creep spread, that's really what's hurting him. He may end up losing another base pretty soon, but he doesn't care because of the Broodlords.
Yeah, but I mean, we say Broodlords, but there are so many Stalkers in this army. Blink Stalkers at that. So, yeah, another good Nova, and now the Stalkers can just blink on top of the Broodlord.
They try to, but they do not manage to snipe a single one. As they go forward, the Lingbane is going to help protect them. And is this going to be enough? As you said, there are a lot of Blink Stalkers. Like, if Exostriker wanted to, he could just yellow under the Broodlords.
I think he really wants to, but they're just in such a weird position that it's hard for him to commit there.
Exactly. There's just too much on the ground. Help support to help protect those Broodlords, and oh no!
Oof. That's a noof. Like all of these units were rallied into the same spot, and that's exactly where the Nova hit.
Exactly. Meanwhile, there is that blink forward. 1, 2, 2 Broodlords go down. Is that going to be enough? Another Nova goes off. But over time,
yeah,
the Broodlords...
I think this Nova really hurt Mixu there, and now the Stalkers can actually try and snipe those Broodlords.
They blink forward once again. This time the Nova goes off, taking down both Infestors as well as the base.
Yeah. There are Broodlords there, but once again, there's only a few of them, so even when they attack, there's not a lot of Broodlings on the ground.
Yeah, exactly. And another blink on for the Broodlords. They're getting picked off one after the other. And I feel like this is the beginning of the end here for our Zerg player. He invested so much into these Broodlords, and they just aren't really working out for him. He can't afford losing them like this, as well as the Infestors.
I told you, like, this Spire is just not working out for Mixu.
Yeah.
Every game he went Spire, it was tricky, except the Mutas. The Mutas did work.
You could argue that instead of going Broodlords, if he had just gone Lingbane, Roach Ravager, and just rebuilt the Vipers, he would have been in a better position.
Yeah. No, yeah, I mean, he won games like that.
Yeah.
But like every time he tries to go into the late game Spire into Broodlord, it just doesn't seem to work out for him.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is the first time that he's actually able to get the Broodlords out, but we can see that it's just not going to be enough. GG. Exostriker takes the lead in this series 2-1.
Now, if you want to know what happened mid game, I was trying to get a quick sip of water, and I lost my cap. I lost the cap of the bottle, and I don't know where it went. I was trying to find it. It's just not there. It's getting dark, so I just can't see it anywhere.
Shaking my head, Kuro, shaking my head.
I don't want to spill water on my PC mid-cast, okay? I need this to be closed.
Oh, it's gone. It's gone. The bottle cap. It's lost to the ether. Into the room of Kuro.
Probably together with my enter key.
Oh, God. But, yeah, really well played there by Exostriker, just keeping that pressure up. Mixu, once again, wanting to go for those Broodlords, and we touched on it before, like, you could argue maybe unnecessarily taking up to Broodlords, exposing himself as a result. Broodlords, they're very expensive units, and you could argue that you can deal with ground toss without them. As I quickly mentioned to Kuro, please join the lobby, please. Oh, God.
I'm diving under my desk to
I
look up.
Shaking my head.
Maybe one day I will find it. What the heck?
Oh, God. Alright, here we go. We're diving into game number 4. Ooh, one of the smaller maps in the map pool. We are diving into Berlingrad.
I would like to report that the cap is just gone. It's just not there.
F's in the chat. F's in the chat for
In
Kuro's
the
cap.
void. Yeah, I just have to drink the whole bottle now. And this is like a big bottle. What? Well, anyway. Quickly, there you go. Now we're both on the same page. As we are here on match point, we are looking at the base of the yellow Protoss player, representing Alpha X. It is Exostriker.
And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Berlingrad ALE, we have the Finnish Zerg player himself representing Gova Esports. Currently down 1-2 in this series. One more loss, and his tournament run is over. It is Mixu.
Indeed.
Yeah, again, Mixu, I feel like just thinking a little bit too far ahead, being a little bit too fancy with his play in the previous game. Like, if you're in a position where, hey, you can go into Broodlords, sometimes it can be a little bit too soon to make that happen. Broodlords can be great units, but they do require, like, a support structure around them to make them work.
I mean, Mixu is also the player who, like, really rushes his attack. Like, he's rushing to all of these drones, so he doesn't have to drone up anymore. And like, maybe it is like indeed just too early in the game to do so.
Yeah. There's a time and there's a place. And I feel like last game, that was not the time or the place for those Broodlords. Aye, aye, aye. Oh god. But again, shout out to Exostriker. Ooh, as he loses a probe. But shout out to him for identifying when his opponent was at his weakest and just for continuing up that pressure, for getting his 4th base up and running as well, fully saturated. You know, really great SimCity and defenses. Yeah, just a very solid style coming out from him that is able to exploit the greed from Mixu at times. Oh my god.
Okay. We're going away from the standard the standard plate of Exostriker, just straight into Robo.
Yeah, very peculiar indeed. Kuro, I'm feeling disruptors.
Disruptors, really?
Yeah, with a fast robo like this, I feel like we should be seeing a fast robotics bay. We did see earlier today in the Chinese qualifier a player go for like a weird blinkless like timing with immortals and with sentries, but I feel like the more standard way to do this is to go straight into a bay.
Sure, may as well. And where is this? Where is this? Was it to come? No, it's Immortals.
Oh, okay. Immortal first. So yeah, I didn't think this was this popular, but yeah, we did see this earlier in the afternoon in the DreamHack China qualifiers. Going for a really fast immortal, and like this is gonna be like a really weird push, a really weird early push without a Twilight Council, without any upgrades, with just like vanilla gateway units, and this can catch the Zerg player off guard.
I mean, that said, there is the Robo Bay on the way, so it must have been just the first Immortal,
Okay.
just in case, you know?
Yeah, okay. This is more of what I know. Just wanted to be safe and secure with a single Immortal and a single Stalker, and then going into the drop from here.
And the Overlord is denied as well, so no scouting information for Mixu there. And yeah. We're just gonna have to wait and see.
Yeah, basically it's on Mixu to try and scout this, and right now he is in the dark. He doesn't see anything. It could be a Twilight Council opener again. It could be another, you know, blink into Forge. And unfortunately for Mixu, he's in the dark. He doesn't really have an Overlord in position. He is not going in for a scout. He will not see this until the War Prism moves out.
Yes, indeed. And the first disruptor is on the way, as well as the Warp Speed. I mean, Mixu does have links on the map, so he will see the Warp Prism moving out, most likely, but it may be just too late.
Yeah, I mean, again, you can respond to this as the Prism moves out, and the Ling barely caught a glimpse of it. I don't know if he really saw it, though, as we have 8 more Lings on the way. It looks like he may have not seen it. And hopefully his reaction time is on point, because there we go, the Overlord's able to spot it anyway, and he needs to be able to pull away. He cannot allow these Disruptors to get their shots off, or to get too many good shots.
The Zerglings there, but little does he know this is actually a Disruptor. So has to be very careful.
Yeah, I feel like he knows just because the Disruptor is zooming pretty quick. It's like, you do not get War Prism speed unless you're going for a Disruptor drop, so... Yeah, he's very, very much so aware of it, and so far, he is able to deflect the first Disruptor.
Yeah. Looks like the Warbeast will go to fetch the other one, though, and try another angle of the attack.
Yeah, exactly. Again, the Lings have to be on point. They have to be directly under the War Prism so they can just dive on top of those Disruptors as soon as possible. First never goes up. Up.
All of those queens survive, just barely, but they do.
Yeah. Oh boy. Again, one Purification Nova is not enough to kill a queen. You will need 2, and they were split up in such a way that only one landed on each queen.
Yeah, indeed. It looks like Mixu is on point, following wherever the Warbeast goes. He still manages to unload the Disruptors, but not too much damage done.
Yeah, exactly. Gets like 3 roaches in total. Nothing major here. Mixu is dealing with this quite well. And we'll see what his response is going to be, because typically to really shut this down is to go into a Spire. But at the same time, you do kind of...
No, not the Spire.
Not for Corruptor, not for Broodlords. Thank you very much to go into mutas. But for the time being, it looks like Roach Ravager is what he's a little bit more comfortable with. Up!
Oh, yeah, a few more roaches being lost once again, and now the queen as well. This is slowly but surely starting to snowball.
Yeah. Look at the units lost tab, 5 roaches in total, 1 queen, and in comes that massive push. Mixu, he's got a pretty healthy drone count, 60 drones is nothing to scoff at. He has a couple of spines on the way as well, knowing how vulnerable he is. Does he have enough? I'm a little bit worried because he only has a single Ravager to work with.
Yeah, indeed. And this is a lot of army, mostly Stalkers. Oh, another Nova Ghost, but actually is dodged by Mixu. And yeah, there is the Disruptor for Disruptor, the Warp is for reinforcements as well.
Yeah, and again, there's only 1 Ravager. He cannot bile down that War Prism. It will manage to get another wave of Stalkers in. First Nova goes off. We'll get another 2 roaches. Oh my god!
Ooh, that was close, but the Disruptor does get sniped, and now this is just the Colossi for the AoE damage.
Yeah, that was actually some very nice target fire there by Mixu. He focused on both of those disruptors, and now suddenly there's a lot less firepower in this army.
Yeah, that said, he did have to dive into this army to snipe those disruptors, so his roach army is much smaller than it used to be, and I'm actually not sure if he has enough to hold this.
Ooh, once again, a lot of target fire on that Colossus, but it just barely wasn't enough. The micro on the Prism was a little bit too good, and Exostriker keeps the Colossus alive. Up! Save it, puppy! He saves it!
Yeah, saving the Colossi, and GG is called.
GG gets called. Exostriker once again comes out with his ground-based push and takes down Mixu 3-1.
Yeah, very nicely played from Exostriker. Really solid plays there.
Yeah, and able to show off that, hey, he doesn't have to rely on the same opener game after game. This time he switched things up with a bit of a disruptor drop, and it didn't do the most damage, but it did kind of contain the Zerg player, and as you said, the damage did kind of build up a little bit over time.
Yeah, indeed. And I mean, shout out to Mixu as well, because he's been playing really well the whole qualifier today. It just did not quite work out for him in the final qualifying series, but he's also shown quite a few great games today.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, like, it did feel as if Mixu, he thrives a little bit more in the late game, and he really wanted to get there. He really wanted to get there. He wanted to saturate his bases, and I saw, like, a lot of brilliance there in his play. But again, I think he was just a little bit too ambitious. And there are times where I feel like he needs to focus a little bit more on the here and now, not so much on the future, especially in this matchup in ZVP.
Yeah, I feel like in ZVT it worked much better for him, but in ZVP he seems to be struggling just a little bit.
Yeah, he was punished a lot more for it.
Yeah.
Just because of how aggressive Exostriker is. I'm sure he does find a lot more success with like other more passive Protoss players, but Exostriker was just constantly in his face, and just didn't really let him get into, you know, his hive tech, into his brood lords, into his infestors. Yeah, he was just always there.
Yeah, definitely.
And with that, congratulations, Exostriker. He qualifies for the closed qualifier.
Yeah, he qualified for the qualifier.
Yo, let's go.
This format is quite what's the word? Extensive? What's the right word for it? I won't say complicated, because like it's fairly straightforward. It's just that like there's a lot of stages to it.
Yeah. There's a lot of steps to be taken if you want to advance on, and oh boy. There's a bit of a marathon of a qualifier, of a system, but it is the one we have, and at the moment I wouldn't have it any other way, you know. Gotta find a way to filter through the players. You gotta make sure the best of the best make it to the main event. And my condolences to Mixu. I hope we see him in qualifier number 2, because he looked really good in ZVT. It's just in this matchup just struggling a little bit more.
Yeah, definitely. After his previous matches, I really thought he was like a great candidate to qualify, but it looks like he was just missing just a little bit with Exostriker. So I think he looks good to qualify in the second qualifier.
Yeah. He's definitely someone to keep an eye on this year in 2022. He's been slowly growing as a player over time, over the years, both in the game and in real life. And yeah, he looks really impressive. Like I'm becoming a fan.
Hmm. Are you becoming a fan because he's so brave to make drones when he's being attacked?
No. Becoming a fan because he's being so brave to take a hive every single game, mate. Even if it kills him.
True.
Oh boy.
True,
Meanwhile, exclamation mark be in the chat, people, as we do have many other qualifying matches finishing up. Soul Spirit, not Soul or Spirit, Soul Spirit, does qualify, taking down Nickeldack 3-1. King Cobra 3-0's Ashbringer, so the famed King Cobra is going to be in the closed qualifier as well. You'll love to see it. And Spats takes down Trifax 3-0 as well.
Very nice.
Very nice indeed. And with that, Kuro, we could stick around and maybe try and catch another series, but I feel like now may be a nice time to go to bed.
I mean, unlike the other regions that we've covered so far, like Europe does have a lot of streams going on, so I'm fairly sure that at least most, if not all of the matches should be covered by another English channel, or at least a non-English channel, so I think it's safer for us to actually close on this note.
Yeah, I'm definitely okay with that. So yeah, I'm also incredibly tired. It's about to be 5 a.m. here in Australia, and our next broadcast is in 3 hours. So I want to try and get 2 hours of sleep before Latin America, so I can be somewhat rested for it. Oh boy. Oh god. So yes, thank you so much for watching, everyone. Again, our goal here is to cover every single qualifier imaginable, and so far we have 100% with that. You know, we've covered Taiwan, Hong Kong, China, North America, and now Europe.
I mean, we're not gonna do 100 because we can do China number 2.
Or can we?
Or can we?
Oh god. So yeah, we're gonna do our best. And we'll see where we go and where we end up.
Yeah, indeed.
Oh god. Kuro, do you wanna add anything else before we head off here? Other than, of course, checking out the other streams.
If you enjoyed our broadcast, make sure to follow us here, because there's a lot more StarCraft coming this week especially, but also every other week, as we are regularly casting weekly tournaments on our channel, especially on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, and Sundays, and also other days. Yeah, anyway, just follow this channel, and if you want to know more about CranKy Ducklings, make sure to do !socials in the chat, where you can find our Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Discord, and all the other stuff that we do.
Oh yeah. Be sure to be there. We're all over the place on all the social medias, so thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the broadcast. Thank you to Kuro as well for joining me. I know it was a little bit impromptu, and we didn't originally plan to cover Europe, but again, I just thought that we should do whatever, like, as much as we could, especially with some news recently as well. I feel like StarCraft needs it. Oh god.
Right after this week, we just sleep for a week. I know it now already.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be great. And with that, thank you so much, everyone, for watching. We will be back in 3 hours and 20 minutes with DreamHack Latin American qualifier number 1. I'm gonna be live with Ducklings, and we're gonna have a great time. Hopefully my mental state is going to be okay. Again, I'm going to go for a bit of a nap. Hopefully I don't oversleep. That's actually my biggest worry. So I'm going to set every single one of my alarms and make sure I wake up in time.
Meanwhile, I'm going to be slowly working my way through this 2-liter water bottle that I cannot close now.
There you go.
So I'm going to have fun with that.
Beautiful. And yes, with that, thank you so much for watching. Stick around, we're going to give another streamer a little bit of a raid. I think we're going to give some love over to Chicken Man. He's currently casting Fighting Frog versus Holy Hit. It looks like they're going to go all the way to the ace match, so you will have at least one more game with them. So yeah, give Chicken Man some love. He's a great guy. He's a great caster.
He's also a bird.
He's also a bird, yes. Quite a duck, but he's a chicken.
Yeah, at least he's a chicken.
Yeah.
And he's casting a frog.
Yeah, yeah, all the barn animals. Let's go. So thank you so much. Give him some love, and we will see you guys next time. Ciao.
Bye.